What's up everyone, and welcome back to Top 5 Central. Today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 worst Pokemon in Pokemon Go. There's a lot of good Pokemon in Pokemon Go, but there's also a lot of downright awful ones too. This list will let you in on what the worst of the worst actually are. Now if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe down below to help us reach 500,000 subscribers. Also, thank you guys so much for helping us reach over 7,000 likes on the legendary Pokemon video. Let's see if we can try to get that again, but with that said, let's get right into the video. Coming in at number 10, we have Pokedex entry 113, which is Chansey. Chansey is a normal type Pokemon with no potential evolution in the current version of Pokemon Go. However, when Generation 2 Pokemon are released into the game, it will be able to evolve into Blissey. Not only does Chansey have the terrible max potential CP of only 675, its normal type moves aren't super effective against any other Pokemon in the game. Overall, the egg Pokemon is looking to be just a little rotten. The number 9 spot in this list is claimed by the cave-dwelling Zubat, which is number 41 in the Pokédex. Zubat tend to be annoyingly common in residential areas during the night and day. It doesn't help that the bat Pokemon only has a top CP of 642, making it both exceedingly common and exceedingly weak. Zubat evolves into Golbat when you have the 50 candies, meaning you have to get around 13 of these slippery bats before you can evolve. The worst thing about a Zubat isn't even the lackluster CP, it's the fact that they're so difficult to catch in the first place. They always seem to be like 5 miles away from you, so you have to throw the Pokeball so far, and they're just so tiny, it's really annoying to catch. At number 8, we have number 63 in the Pokédex, which is Abra. The fragile psychic Pokemon might be one of the hardest Pokemon in the game to catch. It has an extremely low capture rate comboed with a very large flee rate to mimic its teleporting antics in the main series of the Pokemon games. If you do manage to capture an Abra, be prepared to be disappointed in its strength. Abra's highest potential CP rating is only a lame 600. Now don't get me wrong, the Abra evolution does become quite strong. Its third form, Alakazam, is an extremely powerful psychic type, but having to grind through that many missed encounters might not be worth the effort. Pokédex number 19, Rattata, is this list number 7. The mouse-type Pokemon is a pretty large disappointment. It can be found just about everywhere and it only takes 25 candies to evolve and eradicate. As well, the highest CP that it could get is only a measly 581. The cautious mouse is one of the most common Pokemon in the game and can be used as an okay addition to Pidgey when evolving Pokemon for XP with the assistance of a lucky egg. But other than that, this purple rodent is downright useless. Kikuno, which is a bug poison type, is number 6 on this list and number 14 in the Pokédex. The Cocoon Pokemon is the second Pokemon in the Weedle evolutionary line and will eventually evolve into Beedrill. That doesn't help the Pokemon's individual stats though, as its weakling only reaches a maximum potential CP of 485. Kakuna is a pretty useless Pokemon and should only ever be saved so it can be evolved into a Beedrill. At our number 5 spot, we have Diglett. Diglett may be good for farmers, but aspiring Pokemon Go trainers should give number 50 on the Pokédex a miss. The mole Pokemon can only reach a peak CP of 456 and can only learn mediocre moves like Mudshot and Scratch. Diglett are pretty useless in battle, which makes hatching one from a 5-kilometer egg all the more disappointing. Weedle, the unevolved form of Kakuna, just avoids being in our top 3 of the worst Pokemon in Pokemon Go. With a max CP of 449, it's a pretty weak Pokemon, which is to be expected from the first Pokemon in an evolutionary line. Now it only takes 12 candies to evolve into a Kakuna, so the silver lining in this disappointing Pokemon is that you won't have to deal with it for long. Although while it is around, you'll have to deal with a 1-foot-tall bug, which is just terrifying in its own right. Metapod takes the unfortunate honor of this list's 3rd place spot. Metapod is much like another bug Pokemon, which is Kakuna obviously, only it's even weaker with a max potential CP of 447. This means that Metapod is even weaker than its Kakuna counterpart's unevolved form of Weedle. The only moves it learns are Bug Bite and Tackle, as well as the charge move Struggle. Metapod may be easy to catch, but that doesn't mean it should be caught. What could be worse than the weak Metapod? Its unevolved form Caterpie, of course. Now, if you happen to capture a Caterpie, be prepared to be disappointed by the worm's Pokemon strength. Caterpie only reaches a maximum CP level of 443 in Pokemon Go. Much like its evolved form Metapod, Caterpie can only learn Bug Bite, Tackle, and Struggle, but it hits the opponent with even less of a punch, which is honestly just embarrassing. And finally, at our number 1 spot, we have Magikarp. Magikarp is a pretty pathetic excuse of a Pokemon that can only learn the move Splash, which barely damages your opponent. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, the maximum CP this flopping fish can have is 262, which is the weakest on this list by almost 200 points. Now, the only saving grace for the terrible Magikarp is that one day it will evolve into a majestic Gyarados. But that's only if you can manage to get 400 Magikarp candies, which is insanely hard to get. It's kind of ironic that Magikarp can go from one of the worst Pokemon in the game to one of the best, but nonetheless though, Magikarp truly is the worst Pokemon in Pokemon Go. It's just like literally completely useless. So anyways, that's our list of the top 10 worst Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Let us know down in the comment section if you have any video ideas for the future because we might decide to use them. Also make sure you subscribe so you never miss out on one of our videos. We're really close to 500,000 subscribers, so every single sub counts. Either way, thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next video.